Hi friends, I hope you all are doing great. This is Kunal Nagpal representing Nagpal Economic Academia, wherein we actually discuss the very important and strategic matters which are of great concern both for the Indian economy in particular and the global economy in general. My dear friends, the topic for today's discussion is basically to analyze the key causes which were responsible for not reaching to the joint communique for the two important meetings held at the G20 forum in India in last 2 weeks. And my dear friends, this is actually of very major concern. And we really need to analyze the causes which are responsible for not reaching the joint communique. And any guesses why we were not able to reach the joint communique? Yes, some of you might be getting it right. That is, the main cause is multilateralism. So my dear friends, multilateralism is actually responsible for multi-country crises. Specifically speaking, the lack of a joint communique at the two key G20 meetings of the foreign ministers and of the finance ministers and central bank governors basically illustrates the crisis of multilateralism. The condemnation of the invasion of Ukraine blocked by Russia and China was actually the proximate cause. However, the multilateral order set up in the aftermath of the Second World War, marginally recalibrated after the disintegration of the Soviet Union, has actually been sitting on a simmering crisis. The COVID pandemic, the failure to provide adequate support to the poorest countries of the world, the ensuing economic crisis, and the food and energy crisis in aftermath of the war in Ukraine have only exacerbated the entire matter. So, as the G20 president, India's basic suggestion to actually focus on the common concerns such as climate change and environmental protection being a very prominent area of discussion, followed with education and health, could actually help begin the repair. But it is not practically enough, honestly speaking. And none of these issues basically exist in isolation. Fixing multilateralism basically requires rebuilding the trust from the crux. The countries must have the confidence that their concerns will be heard, their borders and people protected against the aggressors, be they states or the non-state actors, for the solutions to be found. And importantly, multilateral fora must be the places where the vulnerable countries are not left behind. G20, comprising the biggest economies accounting for about 85% of the global GDP and over 75% of the global trade, must lead the way in actually repairing the multilateral order and its instruments. So rebuilding from the base will actually require reforming existing systems, modifying them, enhancing transparency and the overall accountability. So my dear friends, as home to a sixth of humanity, a fast-growing economy, and representative of the global south, I'm pretty sure you might be well aware, you might have got well aware of which country I'm talking about. Yes, I'm talking about our motherland, India. I repeat, as home to a sixth of humanity, a fast-growing economy, and representative of the global south, India must be proactive in actually revitalizing the multilateral order. A breakdown basically hurts the poor developing countries disproportionately. Leading will require listening to all voices, building consensus, nudging countries and groups to actually dialogue, and hence developing the priorities for the concerns, and hence providing the options to deal with the critical problems in a proper systematic manner. So, my dear friends, I hope you might be well informed with this particular session, that what all were actually the causes, the main causes for not reaching the joint communique at the two key G20 meetings held in India under its presidency. That is, the G20 meetings of the foreign ministers and of the finance ministers and the central bank governors. The basic crisis being the multilateralism crisis. And we have also been able to analyze and understand what should be the learning lessons for India. That is, India must actually be proactive in actually revitalizing the multilateral order. Since the breakdown hurts the poor developing countries disproportionately, leading will require listening to all voices, building the consensus, nudging the countries and groups to actually dialogue, and hence developing important priorities for the important concerns which are of strategic importance, and hence providing the options in order to deal with the critical problems. So, my dear friends, I would like to conclude my session here itself, and I would be really grateful if you could mention your feedback in the comment section. That is, what you think about the overall delivery of the lecture, the importance, the relevance of the topic discussed, and also your individual suggestions, your individual opinions and ideas related to this particular topic. Right? So, and this will actually act as the very, very important building block for me to actually construct my future lectures, so that your very, very valuable suggestions would reach the concerned authorities, and hopefully the required action would be incorporated. So thank you so much for your overall patient and cooperative listening, and I wish you all the best. Do take very good care of yourselves until we meet next. Thank you so much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.